welcome and good afternoon at this panel. So sorry, but it will be in English. And this afternoon we will talk about sustainable cities and urban resilience from Casablanca to Dubai. So cities are nowadays at the heart of big transitions. They condense residents, innovation, but also vulnerabilities. Today, because of the climate change, and demographic pressures, it's not about building the city, but of rethinking the cities.
Correct.
To make it obviously more sustainable, inclusive, and above all, resilient. The MENA region is building itself around urban resilience and increasingly moving towards the development of sustainable cities. To enrich this discussion, I have the pleasure of being accompanied by the three renowned panelists, who I thank again for being here today on the stage with me. So I will do a quick introduction and I will let you finish if you want. So Mr. Sabra, CEO of BEEAH Capital. BEEAH is a leading group from Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates, driving innovation in sustainability, waste management, and smart solutions to shape the cities of tomorrow. Mr. Tricaud is the director of the Architecture and Development Department at AFALULA. AFALULA is the French agency dedicated to supporting the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in the sustainable development and cultural promotion of ALULA region. And last but not least, Mr. Wolf, President of the Sustainable Cities Task Force at MEDEF International. MEDEF International is an organization that brings together French companies worldwide, fostering economic partnerships and dialogue with public and private stakeholders abroad. Maybe I will start with you, Mr. Wolf. And I would like to know, according to you, what are the key elements to build a city with a low carbon footprint that spurs circular economy, notably in Morocco?
Good question. Maybe I would say a word that I also have another cap. I had another cap with the Olympics in 2024. I'm quoting this because I will answer through the Olympics. And I'm chairing a committee of legacy of these Olympics. Why do I say that? Because to come to your question, what we decided, what we promised to the International Committee is to have a carbon footprint divided by 2, 50%. We made it, roughly, we made it. And how did we do that? Which comes to your question. Very, not easy, believe me. It's a day-to-day, but number one is circular economy. If you're building something, use the thing that were used before. Number two, think about all the process. If you bring things to build, one of stupid thing is think about the lorries or the way things come to the place. For the Olympics, we had part of the Seine River, which allowed us to have things, a lot of material coming through boats. And by definition, the carbon footprint of a boat is not the one of a lorry, etc. All these things. Now, what is a city really? What is an inclusive, to take your point before, and a sustainable city? We have four, not 25, 4 major issues. Number one is energy. Number two is water. Number 3 is waste. Waste. What do we do with waste? And number 4 is transportation. All these 4 can be approached with a sustainable view in terms of low carbon. Yeah. Easy with energy. You can talk about renewable energy, about reloaded energy coming from the computers, etc. The same with transportation. As soon as you think about trams or whatever, which is not driven, if I can say, through oil, it's much better. And the same for the other two. So not to be too long, I think that what we've learned from the Olympics and what we do learn day to day in all the countries where we apply it with the private companies, MEDEF, as you said, Amandine, is the biggest French private sector company, gathering 80% of the companies in France, to make it short. Everywhere on all 5 continents, we're trying to promote as much as we can inclusive solutions, local solution. One size does not fit all. If you talk about AFALULA, if you talk about Casablanca, if you talk about any of these, you can't say we have the solution. It applies with local people. And finally, I just want to point out one point. Sustainable comes also to the people living in. And don't forget that for the Olympics, we promised that we will tackle as much as we could all types of handicaps. We did it, including not only wheelchair. Wheelchair is the most easy thing to take care of, but a lot of other diseases are much difficult. And for an inclusive town for tomorrow, wherever it's in the world, you have to have this approach on handicap. Thank you.
BEEAH is a diversified company. You lead some operation in energy, technology, innovation, healthcare, and real estate. Could you walk us through the company's growth journey and how its achievements are contributing to the development of smart and climate-resilient city in the MENA region?
Yeah, thank you very much, Amandine. Firstly, I tend to agree with all what you've really said really about sustainable really cities. And I really want to really add one more pillar, which is technology. I always like to incorporate technology as part of a requirement for a sustainable really city, really. Today, BEEAH is considered as one of the leading sustainability company in the MENA region. We work among 5 clusters. One is environmental, one is energy, one is healthcare, one is real estate, and the other really is technology. So these are the 5 pillars we work on. And all these 5 pillars are what contributes to building really a sustainable really economy. As a company, we started really in 2007. And at that time, really, there wasn't in our MENA region strong belief in what's referred to as sustainability. So waste was just put in landfills that were not really engineered really as well, creating a lot of emissions and issues really as well, health issues for the population. Our leadership have noted that there's a big problem that needs to be tackled. We were really established as a private-public really partnership with the objective of enhancing the quality of life in the UAE and really beyond. Today, BEEAH is the leading sustainability company in the MENA region. We operate in 3 main countries across the Middle East and Africa, which is namely Saudi and Egypt, in addition definitely to our hometown, which is UAE. We're planning to expand beyond these geographies really as well. As I've really stated really as well, whatever we do has to be sustainable. Sometimes, Amandine, people ask me when it comes to technology, you are building data centers, and you say that you are sustainable. Data centers are never sustainable because they consume a lot of energy. And we come and really say, no, what we're doing is that the data centers we're creating are powered by energy generated from waste, really as well. Waste is value. Waste is never waste, really as well. Waste is gold. If you think about it really properly, it makes a lot of money. Today, if you really look at the performance of the waste management companies, we are all making very good money, really as well. It means there's something really financially sustainable and ecologically sustainable, really as well. So sustainability requires leadership, requires right mindset, and as you correctly stated, requires education to people. And that's why, as a company, we've really established School of Education to educate people about the importance and the value of sustainability.
And after the UAE, maybe we can talk about the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So how do AFALULA's specific characteristics, its climate, geography, and history form the basis for a sustainable regional planning approach?
Thank you very much. It's a very good question and very much adapted to AFALULA context because, as you know, or maybe as you don't know, AFALULA is part of what is called the Vision 2030 program in Saudi Arabia, which is a series of programs all around the kingdom aiming to invent the future of Saudi in a sustainable and resilient way. What is specific in AFALULA is that the way to invent the future is really based on how do we take into account the fantastic natural and cultural heritage we've got in AFALULA. Maybe you don't know also, AFALULA is the place of Egra, which is the first UNESCO-listed place in Saudi, which means that there is a huge history, a long history of very subtle civilizations which have been settled here in AFALULA with many ingenuity in how to live in this hard climate, how to have a very, once more, sophisticated life, social life, intellectual life, cultural life, and how to take into account the harsh climate, very hot, dry, much drier than in the Emirates, which is a good point, which means that to say it in a nutshell, it's very nice just to be outside about 8 or 9 months a year. There are 3 months which are a bit harder. But anyway, all that means that literally is the essence, the philosophy of AFALULA, how to develop based on what is already there. What is already there, that means, as I said, the nature, with the main huge challenge about water. He was talking about water as one of the pillars of the sustainable issues. We have an aquifer which is recharged by the annual rain, but as the collection, the water collection is much higher than what the annual rain is bringing to the aquifer. The aquifer nowadays is lower and lower, about 1 meter each year, which is not sustainable at all. And so that's the main challenge that we have to face in the coming year. Otherwise, working with the nature means also working with materials which are there. There is a huge oasis in the middle of the desert, that's AFALULA. And the city is in the middle of the oasis, which is in the middle of the desert, which means that you have a full range of geosource, biosource materials which can be used, which are not yet, because cement and concrete are the only way of building both infrastructures and houses and buildings nowadays in AFALULA, like in many places around the world. And that's for nature. And on the other hand, I said building with the culture, building with the history, building with all this wisdom that we grasp from the way the people were living in AFALULA. Once more, just in a few sentences, the way they used to live is in houses made of earth, most of the time, or stone, which, as we rediscover today, high capacity of climate responsive construction. On the other hand, they used to move between summer and winter. In summer, when it's too hot in the city, they used to go in what they call the summer farms, which is the oasis, where it's much nicer just to live. So just to take these few examples and to show how we can invent the future, but based on the wisdom and the presence of what's already there.
And when we think about sustainable cities, we think about energy, we think about sometimes technologies, transportation. But we always missed one, which is the healthcare, because healthcare is a pillar of sustainable cities. And so, since it is also a key focus for BEEAH, I would like to know if you could how do you elaborate and how are you looking forward your projects in the UAE, and how those healthcare projects can inspire the MENA region?
Yeah. You know, one of the main reasons for the success of BEEAH, other than our leadership, it's partnership. We've really partnered in the healthcare segment a couple of years back with renowned institutions from the US, namely Mass General Hospital, Brigham, Dana-Farber, and Spalding, which are considered one of the top healthcare really providers in the US, really. Today, what we're trying to build, healthcare has changed, Amandine. Healthcare is no longer what we used to know in the past, bricks and mortars. It's beyond that, really, as well. We're building in the region what we refer to as healthcare of the future, hospitals of the future, really, as well. And healthcare, you have to take into consideration, a lot of waste comes from healthcare. And we're talking about hazardous waste, really, as well. That requires treatment. That's when we were really mentioning, really, waste. Waste is not just the municipal and solid waste. There is medical waste. There is construction waste. There is industrial waste. And healthcare generates hazardous waste, really, as well. That needs to be well really treated. So in order to be in a position to have really as well a sustainable healthcare, you need to ensure you take care of the healthcare from different angles, whether technologically or whether really as well treating the waste being generated really from there. Because the waste is not only related to the medical waste. There's blood being generated. There is really as well sewage being generated. There is diseases being really generated really as well with what's really as well used. So you have to take care really of all of this really as well. And at BEEAH, we take care of this. We have a sister company called Wikaya that takes care of medical waste really as well. So that's how we really do it.
Maybe, Mr. Tricaud, I have another question for you, and I would like, how does the notion of urban resilience apply in the specific context of AFALULA, and how can the facilities developed in AFALULA can inspire also the MENA region?
I think that this question of resilience, it's not that easy to address. I mean, sustainability, you see more or less what it is. Resilience, it means that we prepare the society, the environment to even harder events than what we know today, what could happen in terms of huge rains, in terms of climate change in general, and so on and so on. My conviction, and it's what we try to do, is to prepare not only the framework of the social life, but to prepare the social life itself. And that's the most efficient way of working on resilience. To take an example, one of our leading projects now in AFALULA is what we call walkable neighborhoods. What does it mean, walkable neighborhoods? It just means that today's neighborhoods are not walkable. People do not walk. And, but it's not the case only there in Saudi. It's the case in many cities around the world, where the urban development these last 50 years has brought us a place where it's impossible to walk. Because the distance is too far and the public realm is not adapted really to walkability. And when you think about what walkability means, it's really the melting pot of the society. It's the base of social interactions. It's the base of public health. It's the base of in fact, the life of the city. And once more, it's something we have completely lost this last half century. Let's say in resume, and it's something that we have to refine in these cities. Because if people walk, it means first that they are used to live outside, and it means also that they need to have houses where it's possible to live outside, and it's not the case today in AFALULA, like in many places around the world. It means also that they have easy access to public facilities, which is really the base of the city life. It means also that the public realm is adapted to walk, which means that it's fighting against heat islands. that it's easy to stop and to walk and to encounter in these places. So through this program, we find that it could put together, I would say, many issues concerning resilience in that very specific meaning in how a society, a local community is ready is resilient to what could happen in the future.
Mr. Wolf, I have the last question for you. But we would like to know, according to you, how can the French expertise can support the sustainable cities development across the MENA region, according to your experience?
First of all, I say, I will come to MENA region afterwards, but generally speaking, what are we talking about? The name of this session of BEEAH this year is La Vérité, the truth. What is the truth? The truth is that we are not preparing the future for the next generations. Yes. We are still using more than what we are saving. This is not words. This is not words. Think about our children, our grandchildren, or my generation. Think about that. We are not allowed to do what we do. We know that there is a limit in which we can do things, trying to save water, give an example, trying to save the carbon footprint, etc. So the answer to your question, Amandine, is very clear. We have no choice. We have to go through innovation, as you said. We have to find the way in which we prepare the menu, we, the French who love eating, we prepare the menu for our children, which is a larger and not a smaller menu that we have. This is very clear. If we produce more energy than we use it, it's okay. The way we do it today is not the case, even in MENA region. When you built the Centre Aquatique, the Centre Aquatique Olympique, for those of you who live in Paris and went in front of the Stade de France, it's enormous. You have inside, you have 5 swimming pools. It's today it's running. It's not anymore Olympics. Think about that. Normally, this is horrible in terms of heat equation, air conditioning equation, recycling water, blah, 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 blah. We have today 90%, 90% of recycled energy, whether it's renewable or recuperated by the computer, etc. Which means that instead of using 1 megawatt, we use 0.1 megawatt for each one. This is enormous. We are not still there in producing more than we use, but we've done a lot of efforts. And to answer clearly your question, our journey is to think about helping more and more our future generations to have more solution, not less solution. I will finish by what we do. Sorry, it's not in MENA, but I'm talking to a lot of people in MENA explaining this example of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is an 8 million island, group of islands, and there's no more space, but there's more and more people. So how do you recycle the buildings to have more people with less room, in a sense, and without using the planet? We did that. The French companies, we had it was one of our programs, took 5 years to build with, of course, the community, local, the green paper, and then a green agreement, and every single element of the city, transportation, waste to energy, one of the biggest in the world. The same, of course, with energy by itself. Anything, we've done it to be sure that we can prepare the next step. And the final conclusion on that is not only it works, but the rest of China is looking after that. And now with the big region, for you, those of you who know the region of the Great Bay Area, they are putting in this Great Bay Area exactly the solution that we promoted. Not only the French companies, it's not we are the only one, but we did it, and we're ready to do it everywhere. And please think about the fact that we are not talking for us. We are talking for my petite Capucine, who's 30 years old, and all this generation. Thank you.
As we come to an end at this conversation, one message stands clearly. Building sustainable and resilient cities is not a choice anymore. It's a necessity. From Casablanca to Dubai, we saw that resilience is not only about responding to crises, but more anticipating them, transforming challenges into opportunities and creating models of growth that are inclusive and future-oriented. Our panelists have shown us that sustainability and resilience are not constraints to urban developments, but they are in fact powerful levers for competitiveness, innovation, and social progress. Mr. Sabra, Mr. Wolf, Mr. Tricaud, thanks a lot for this insightful conversation. And if you have any question, please feel free. Thank you.
Hello, I have a question for Mr. Tricaud. Because I study in computer science, I'm very into like tech, and as I know, technology often drives like progress, but also comes with higher energy use, carbon footprints, and waste. And I wanted to know, like in your project, how do you reconcile the desire for modern infrastructure with responsibility to remain sustainable and preserve heritage in that specific area?
Well, I would say that what we do in that regard is quite usual. It's, as I said, what differentiates AFALULA from other projects of sustainable cities is not that much about smart, what you are describing, how a smart system can enhance the adaptation of the city to climate change, to and so on and so on. As I said, what is specific, it's a small city, it's 40,000 people, so it's very small people, nothing to do with Dubai or Riyadh or Casablanca or whatever. So the scale of the problem is very different and has a great impact on smartness also. So technology is to be used, but in a very soft way, I would say. And this is the reason why I always insist presenting AFALULA on how we prepare not only the city as a framework for social life, but we prepare the behavior of the people. I think it's and maybe it's something that could be duplicated in bigger cities. It's another issue, but it's very important to bear that in mind. That sustainability and especially resilience surely will be based on how do people behave and how are they prepared, and do we anticipate with their behavior what could happen. We must stop.
If you don't mind,